So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
So young Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with Scooter Braun, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood.
Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also while you're out.
Got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Take a listen.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah. So yeah. I just want to protect her, I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
I'm not even kidding. Watching that clip makes me emotional because he is saying so much without really saying anything. And in this one video, it looks like whatever Justin is doing, and I'm not going to show it out of just respect for the fact that I truly believe that Justin Bieber is a victim. But whatever he is doing in this video with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr. looks highly suspicious. I can show you a still from that video because I think the relevant part is Justin Bieber is not sober. He is clearly very heavily under the influence at this party. And if you remember that lawsuit that the producer Rodney dropped against Diddy, he said that unbeknownst to all of these people, they were being drugged at Diddy's parties, that they were pouring out the liquor bottles and replacing it with other drugs. He kept...
to my limits. Oh, I got the bad. I gotta feel that experience. I'm coming back. It's all good. Happy New Year! Woo!
Unearthing videos of Justin Bieber at Diddy parties. Now, Justin Bieber was obviously extremely young when he entered the industry, extremely innocent when he entered the industry, an industry that he did not quite understand as a boy who just knew how to sing and play the guitar and just did both of those things on YouTube. Then he was scooped up, and suddenly he was a part of people like Diddy going after him and saying, hey man, why don't you pick up my phone calls? There's actually a video of that. Diddy and Justin Bieber looks to be like 15 years old and said, why aren't you picking up my phone calls? And he's like, oh, I know you were trying to contact me through people and I don't have your number. And the next thing we know, Justin is at Diddy's parties.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct.
My
Okay.
number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Candace Owens came into the segment with no patience at all. She didn't start with jokes, she didn't warm the audience up, and she didn't soften her tone to make it comfortable. From the first sentence, she sounded fed up. Her voice was sharp, direct, and heated, like she had been sitting on this anger for a long time and finally decided she wasn't holding it back anymore. She said people keep acting like this story is just celebrity drama, just another messy Hollywood headline for people to gossip about. But she's not treating it like entertainment. She said what she's been looking at is disturbing. And the fact that the public shrugged it off for years is exactly why the industry keeps getting away with things. Candace said the most important detail is also the one detail everyone keeps trying to skip past. Justin Bieber was 15 years old. Not 18, not grown, not old enough. 15. Candace repeated it slowly like it should end the entire conversation right there. She said the world only struggles to admit how wrong this is because Justin was famous. Fame confuses people. The second a teenager becomes rich, adults start acting like normal. Protection doesn't apply to them anymore. Candace said that's backwards and disgusting. A child doesn't stop being a child because they can sing, tour, and sell out arenas. She said the entertainment industry survives by dressing ugly behavior up in pretty language. They throw around words like mentor as big brother, guidance, and networking, and people fall for it because they want to believe everything is harmless. Candace said she's tired of that trick. She said when you actually look at the footage and look at the energy behind it, it doesn't come across like mentoring. It comes across like entitlement. Powerful adults acting like they have the right to access a teenager because of who they are. Candace said fame isn't armor, it's exposure. It puts a kid on display for everyone, including the worst people with the worst motives. She said when a teenager becomes a superstar, it's like the entire industry circles around them and not everyone comes with clean intentions. Candace said the business treats young stars like walking brands, not human beings. And once the money machine gets going, the last thing people want is more boundaries getting in the way. Profit becomes the priority and the child becomes secondary. That's when Candace brought up Diddy and her tone got even harsher. She said she went back and watched the old clips that people used to pass around like they were funny. Diddy smiling on camera, bragging, acting proud about spending private time with Justin. Candace said watching it now makes her angry because it was never normal. She said it's not cool for a grown man to speak that comfortably about controlling time with a 15-year-old. She said the clip alone should have sparked outrage years ago, but instead people laughed, reposted it, and treated it like a harmless celebrity moment because it was wrapped in fame. Candace said what makes her furious is that those moments weren't hidden. They were public, out in the open, yet the media still framed it like Justin was lucky to be included. Candace said that's how broken celebrity culture is. A teenager isn't supposed to be included in adult spaces like that. A teenager is supposed to be protected. Candace said the entire culture around child stars is backwards. Adults want the fame, the money, and the access, and the kid gets pushed into situations they don't even understand. Candace kept her wording YouTube safe, but she made the point clear. She said there have been serious reports and allegations for years about Justin being brought into private environments that were not meant for a minor. Spaces filled with secrecy, control, and loyalty rules where people don't talk afterward. Candace said, what stuck with her most was the way insiders described Justin in those moments. Quiet, tense, not smiling, not acting like a kid having fun. She said when multiple people describe a teenager sitting off to the side like he wants to disappear, that's not normal. That's a red flag. That's what it looks like when a kid knows they don't belong somewhere, but they don't have the power to leave. Candace said people act like Justin could have just stood up and walked away, but that's a fantasy. A 15-year-old doesn't have control in that industry. They don't understand the traps. They don't recognize manipulation when it comes wrapped in praise and fake love. Candace said adults know how to play games and teenagers don't. Teenagers are still learning what's real and what isn't. She said that's why this situation is so infuriating, because it's adults taking advantage of the fact that a kid doesn't have the tools to protect themselves. Candace then turned her anger toward what happened after those early years, because she said the public response to Justin's struggles is another reason she can't stand the way the world treats child stars. She said the world watched Justin spiral and turned it into memes and jokes. They called him spoiled. They called him ungrateful. They mocked him when he was clearly overwhelmed. Candace said people love to pretend they're shocked when child stars crash out, but nobody wants to look at the pressure, the exposure, and the damage that leads to it. She said Justin didn't randomly struggle for no reason. Something builds, something breaks, and it shows. Candace said trauma doesn't always show up in a pretty quiet way. Sometimes it shows up as anger, sometimes it shows up as chaos, sometimes it shows up as somebody trying to escape their own mind. She said once you view Justin's behavior through that lens, it stops looking like entitlement and starts looking like pain. Candace said if you rewatch Justin's old interviews, you can see it. The forced smiles, the guarded eyes, the tension in his posture, the way his energy didn't match the situation. Candace said people called it attitude because that was easier than admitting something darker might have happened. Then Candace asked the question that made her sound like she could explode. Where were the adults? She said managers, executives, handlers, industry friends, they were all there. Everyone who benefited from Justin's fame was right there in the picture. Candace said the industry protected Justin's career like it was a treasure, but didn't protect Justin as a human being. She said they guarded the money, guarded the brand, guarded the image, but didn't guard the kid. Candace said that's what makes the whole story even worse. It wasn't just one person. It was an entire environment that allowed access, allowed silence, and rewarded people for looking away. Candace said the industry runs on fear. People don't speak up because they're scared they'll lose deals, lose connections, or get shut out. Candace said that fear turns into silence and silence turns into protection for the powerful. Meanwhile, the vulnerable person is left alone. Candace said it's a system, not an accident. A system where the powerful stay safe and the young star carries the damage. But Candace made one thing clear: she refuses to reduce Justin into a headline. She said Justin survived. He got older and started building boundaries. He leaned into faith and stability. He tried to rebuild his life and protect his peace. Candace said that kind of recovery takes strength most people don't understand. And it makes her even angrier because Justin should never have needed that strength at 15. He should have been protected by adults who did their job. Near the end, Candace directed her anger straight at Diddy. She said power doesn't last forever. Reputation doesn't last forever. Money doesn't erase consequences. She said truth eventually rises. And once it starts rising, it doesn't stop. Candace said people can delay accountability, but they can't erase the past. She said too many patterns are obvious now, too many stories line up, and too many moments look different when you finally stop making excuses. Candace ended by repeating the message she kept circling back to. Justin deserved better. Not better fame, not bigger tours, not more money. Better protection, better boundaries, better adults around him. Candace said she's tired of powerful people getting excused while young stars get blamed for struggling. She said Justin was failed on, and he shouldn't have had to carry that failure alone while the industry stayed silent. And she left it on the same angry conclusion. This isn't just Hollywood stuff. This is a teenager being exposed and unprotected while powerful adults got cover. Candace said if that doesn't make people angry, then people aren't paying attention.